In New Orleans in 1988, a hitman named Roy is talking to his doctor when he suddenly storms out of the room after learning he has lung cancer. Later, he arrives at a laundry facility that serves as a front for his boss's illegal activities. There, he meets Carmen, his ex-lover and his boss's mistress. After some time, his boss, Stan, arrives and assigns him another job with a partner. Stan orders him not to bring a gun because he does not want Roy to kill anyone. Later, at his house, while he prepares for the job, he secretly brings a knife and a gun, disobeying Stan's orders. He and the other man soon leave and arrive at the place where they are supposed to steal some contraband from a group of men, as per Stan's instructions. However, as they enter the building, they are both knocked down. The other man is immediately killed, but Roy fights back and ends up killing all the men inside the building. Inside, he finds a woman named Rocky, tied to a chair, and he rescues her and takes her with him. It turns out that Stan had double-crossed them, setting Roy up to die because of Carmen. Now Roy needs to leave his place before Stan and his men arrive. He takes Rocky with him. And as they talk, Roy learns that Rocky is from Orange County and was forced to work as an escort at Stan's club. Roy reveals that Stan will not stop until they find him, so they must leave town immediately, and Rocky agrees. Soon, they stop at a bar, and Roy tells Rocky that he will drive her back to Orange County and drop her off so she won't be involved with him. Rocky, on the other hand, refuses to go back to her hometown and says he can leave her at the bar, but Roy refuses to do so. They leave the bar to find a place to rest. Rocky tries to seduce Roy, but he declines her offer. Soon they arrive at a motel, and Rocky continues to tempt Roy, but he is too tired for the night. In the morning, Rocky makes a comment about it, and Roy threatens to leave her there. However, he then starts coughing hard, and Rocky learns about his cancer. Later, Roy buys a car, and they drive out of town. They sleep in the car at night and drive to the next town the following day. As they talk, Rocky asks Roy to drive her to Orange County because someone owes her money there, and she needs to start a new life. Roy agrees. When they arrive in Orange County, Rocky asks Roy to wait in the car and enters an old house. Suddenly, Roy hears a gunshot and sees Rocky running out of the house with a little girl, urging him to drive away as fast as he can. Roy does, and when he asks Rocky about it, she tells him that she had scared her stepfather so she can take her little sister away from him. Rocky assures him that her stepfather is fine. Her little sister Tiffany and Rocky become filled with joy when Roy decides to take them with him. However, he tells them they will change their route to Galveston, his hometown, where it would be very unusual for Stan to look for them. Soon, they arrive at Galveston and finds a motel, and Roy takes 2 rooms for them for the whole week, pretending that Rocky and Tiffany are his nieces. However, the owner, named Nancy, senses that something is wrong and tells Roy that she will be watching him all the time. That night, Rocky approaches Roy and thanks him. Roy reveals that he accepts his fate of dying soon, but wants Rocky to have a decent life, and promises that he will look after them for as long as he can. He learns that Rocky is only 19 years old and never went to high school, so she can't find any decent job. In his room, Roy finds documents of Stan's shipments that may serve as evidence linking him to the syndicate he runs. Roy finds these documents useful and intends to keep them. The next day, they get along with some other tenants, and Roy has a conversation with a man who tells him that there is a beach nearby. Rocky overhears this and begs Roy to take them there, as they have never seen one before. Roy takes them there, and they enjoy the beach for the first time. That night, as Roy rests by the door, a man calls him over for a beer. The man, named Trey, reveals that he has been looking for someone who can help him with a job. Trey promises Roy half of the money, 10 grand, but Roy declines the offer, telling him that he won't be needing the money where he is going. The next morning, Rocky goes swimming in the pool, and Trey approaches to start a conversation while Roy observes from his room. Later, Roy goes to a diner, and while reading a newspaper, he finds out that Rocky had shot her stepfather dead. Angry at this, Roy gathers all his things and leaves Rocky and Tiffany on their own. Roy leaves Galveston, while Rocky and Tiffany have no idea that he has left them behind. Roy soon arrives at the house of his ex-girlfriend named Lorraine. Roy wishes to rekindle their past relationship, but Lorraine does not consider it anymore, as she is now happily married. Roy reveals that he is dying from cancer, but Lorraine no longer cares, which makes Roy leave right away. In the meantime, Rocky realizes that Roy has left them and prepares to look for a job. Nancy and 2 other women offer to take care of Tiffany while she is away. Soon, Roy returns and looks for them. When he asks Nancy about it, she reveals that Rocky has returned to her job to make ends meet. Nancy assures him that they will take care of Tiffany and will not let him take her. Roy storms out of Nancy's office and finds Trey in his room. As they talk, Trey reveals that he has found out about Rocky killing her stepfather and that they are on the run. He threatens Roy that he might tell someone about it unless Roy agrees to help him with his job, and Roy is forced to agree to help him. They agree to meet later, that night in a parking lot, so that no one would notice them. Roy drives around town looking for Rocky, but to no avail, and soon returns to the motel. When night comes, Roy meets with Trey to do the job, but as soon as they arrive at the place, Roy grabs Trey by the neck and chokes him to death. Later, he waits by his room when Rocky arrives, and he confronts her. They get into an argument, but Roy stops when he starts coughing hard. As they talk, Rocky reveals that Tiffany is her daughter, and that her stepfather is Tiffany's father. Roy is not shocked by her revelation, as he had suspected it from the start, but he assures her that he won't leave them. In the morning, Roy calls Stan, threatening that he will release all information about his illegal activities to the press and the authorities if Stan refuses to pay him $75,000. Then he takes Rocky and Tiffany to the beach once again, along with the other tenants who had looked after Tiffany. As they talk, Roy makes them promise to take care of Tiffany if the time comes when he is no longer there. Later that day, he takes Rocky and Tiffany to an ice cream shop and asks Rocky to dinner that night, and she agrees. Later, he takes her to a dock and reveals that he will leave her all $75,000 from Stan so she can start a new life with Tiffany. Roy takes her to a bar and they joyfully dance together as he admits that he has fallen in love with her, and Rocky hugs him. Later that night, after leaving the bar and talking, Stan's men surprise them from behind, knocking Roy to the ground and locking Rocky inside a van. Soon, Roy is tied to a chair and Stan arrives to confront him, telling him that Rocky put up a fight. He also tells him that the doctor was the one who ratted him out about his whereabouts. Several minutes later, Carmen approaches from behind and unties him, urging him to leave before they finish him off. Instead, Roy, who is heavily injured from the beating, roams around looking for Rocky. Soon, in one of the rooms, he finds her brutally assaulted and murdered by Stan and his men. Roy, sad, angry, and guilty about what had happened to her, takes the curtain and covers her with it before leaving the room. He prepares to escape the place and carefully hides to make sure no one spots him as he escapes. Soon, he reaches the steel door, opens it, and finally walks out of the building. He spots one of Stan's men outside in a car and kills him before stealing the car. He drives away, but another one spots him and shoots at him. However, Roy finishes him off as well. As Roy drives away from the place, he gets into an accident and loses consciousness. When Roy wakes up, he is in the hospital and learns from the doctor that his illness is actually curable. Soon, an attorney speaks to him regarding criminal charges against him, warning him that if he speaks to the authorities about Stan, they know where Tiffany lives, and Roy knows what Stan is capable of doing. But if he stays quiet and serves his sentence, they will leave her alone. Roy serves his sentence, and after 20 years in jail, he is released and goes to live in a small town. One day, as he prepares for the coming storm, a woman arrives at his door. The woman is revealed to be Tiffany, now all grown up, graduated from college, with a decent job, and soon to be married. Tiffany looks for Roy to find answers about why Rocky left her. No one knows what happened to Rocky except Roy, and he was prevented from talking about it. Tiffany only wants to know Rocky's reason for leaving her, and Roy feels sad about it. Roy reveals that Rocky is not her sister but her mother, which Tiffany did not know until now, and this makes her cry. He tells her that Rocky had a hard life, but never once thought of abandoning her. After Roy tells Tiffany everything that happened that night, he's seen walking to the beach while having flashbacks of his time with Rocky in Galveston. See you in our next Film Flash. Thank you for watching.